Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. We are out here in the heart of nature, baby. Beautiful day. How to embrace your shadow side and glow brighter. Let's just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. So I got a question about the shadow side, and someone said, how can they learn how to embrace their shadow side? Look, let's face it, behind closed doors, a lot of us are totally different. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? Okay, that's a great question. We got a lot to talk about. Now, along my early journey, I realized that I was wearing many different masks. I would act one way to my mom, one way to the cat down the road, one way to my friends. I never really knew who I was. And a lot of us, we have a shadow side, the part of ourselves nobody gets to see. Like when you're at work, you're like smiling to your coworkers. After you leave, you're like, I'm out of here. Bye. So what helped me to embrace my shadow side and glow brighter? Allow the healthy, cathartic release of any emotion. And I mean any emotion. If you're really angry, like do that. If you're really sad, really sulk, like, okay? Like any emotion you're going through. If you're really happy, celebrate, baby. Allow the healthy, cathartic release of any emotion. Do you know why a lot of people don't know their shadow side, and it sometimes comes out at the most inconvenient moment? Because they suppress their emotions. Suppression is depression. There is a reason why a lot of people have a lot of skeletons in their closet, because they haven't learned how to express the emotions they are feeling. And I learned this, that I was always placing myself in environments which it was kind of hard to be myself. I would be working in jobs and I would be like, hi, but I wasn't really happy there. Right now, I can express any emotion I want. Can I get a hello? That's better. That's how you embrace your shadow side. Once again, your shadow side is not negative. It's just the disowned aspects of yourself. Slow motion this side. Exaggerate your healthy cathartic release. So get really mad. If you're just mad, like, no. It's got to be better than that. Really scream like, like really scream. Okay? Now, I used to do theater studies in school. I used to study that. And there is something called method acting. This is where actors actually like literally go in the role of the character they're playing, like literally go in the role. And acting emanated from ancient Egypt, ancient Greece. They used to wear a mask and then talk through the mask. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? So acting it out, the aggression out, whatever emotion you're feeling out, will help you embrace your shadow side. Like start really exaggerating it. If you're really sad, like go, right? Exaggerate any emotion you are ashamed of. There are no emotions you should be ashamed of because it's all part of you. And then you will glow brighter. I've realized this, like Go out at night and look up. Whoa! You see, stars can't shine without darkness. Slow motion this side. I've learned this along my journey. Our darkest moments are where we become illuminated. Like my really bad times in life, I've learned so much about myself. I wouldn't change it for the world. So realize that your shadow side is not your enemy. It is your friend. It is helping you learn more about yourself. What could be better than that? But if everything was always smooth sailing, you would never really know your triggers, like what makes you happy, what makes you sad. So our shadow side is essential. We need it. And if you are going through a really tough situation right now, just remind yourself, stars can't shine without darkness. I've learned this, that you really have to embrace your shadow side, the dark side. I went through a dark night of the soul, and a lot of people are experiencing this right now. And it usually happens when you have a massive spiritual awakening. When I realized the world is nothing like we have been told, it was hard. Okay, I nearly had a breakdown. No, I did have a breakdown. But my breakdown was my breakthrough. Slow motion this side. Are you afraid of the dark? Why? We all come from the dark matter, right? We are made of carbon. So I realize this, that it's beauty. Embrace your shadow. Embrace the darkness. That's what I love to do. It's not just about being positive. It's about realizing for a battery to work, it needs positive and negative to work together to produce the one force. Oh. I've learned this, that open up a dictionary right now. Blackmail, dark, these are like negative. Why? Because you've been programmed that way. When something is darker, it actually contains more light. Slow motion this side. Because it is absorbing more frequencies. That is the science. So we often think dark, black, these are negative things. No, it's not. It's beautiful. Embrace your shadow side, just like you embrace your light sides, right? Just like you embrace your light sides. I've learned this, that I grew up taking pictures, not selfies, mind you, but nature pictures. So I'm a bit of a photographer. Yeah, I'm a bit of a photographer, okay? Look, I learned this, that if you want to become a really great photographer, you have to know about shadows, midtones, and highlights. So check this out. To embrace your shadow side and glow brighter, learn how to balance your shadows, mids, and highlights. You see, a good photographer never gets rid of their shadows. Otherwise, you lose the detail in your photograph. Slow motion this side. A lot of people have a hard time embracing their shadow side because you have been told you always have to be positive. But you see, positivity comes when you allow yourself to express any emotion you feel when you feel it. It's not about suppressing emotions. That is positive. So I started to realize, okay, I got to be a great photographer, and I have to embrace those shadows to get more detail into my life and see myself in a clearer way, but more so become more authentic. You see, if your highlights are way overexposed, if your photo is way overexposed, it doesn't look so good. It's too bright. You need the shadows, you need the midtones. So that is a metaphor for life that, look, you need all of it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You have to fuse it all together into a beautiful vegan cake. How about that? How about that? How about that? Look, contrast is everywhere, even in nature. This green willow tree, the black soil. No black soil, no green willow tree. I've learned this 7-day vegan challenge that we are what we eat. You see, a lot of us, we have a lot of suppressed emotions. A lot of us, we have an inner conflict. We have an inner conflict raging within us because of what we are eating. We are eating tortured, butchered animals. They are screaming inside of you. Energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transferred. How do I know this? Because there was a time when I was just eating my friends all the time, and it was like this inner conflict was brewing even more furiously. So, karma-free lifestyle, karma-free diet. Now it's all about the arugula, cacao smoothie, vanilla smoothie, plant-based diet, baby. That will help you embrace your shadow side to glow brighter. That will help you really become more centered, more balanced within yourself. You see, we don't even realize that food is not just something you consume. It is something you have to live with for that day. All of the energies of the food is going to be absorbed into your bloodstream. So I had to become mindful to say, okay, if I'm eating torture, if I'm eating pain, I'm going to feel pain. Once I stopped doing that and invited a whole load of grapes into my mouth, I was living a more karma-free lifestyle. Therefore, I was in more mental balance, spiritual balance, emotional balance, and physical balance. Now, where do monsters live? Where do monsters live? Where do monsters live? They don't live under your bed. They live inside your head. Slow motion this side. You see, you might see someone right now who is just smiling, but one day they could do something to themselves which will make them no longer here on planet Earth. Okay? So you never really know what people are going through. Now, as a psychologist, as someone who inspires millions, I always know this because I'm counseling people every single day. You see, monsters are not under your bed. They're not even out there. They live inside your mind. There is an African proverb which says, when there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can't hurt you. No slow motion. But that deserves a slow motion, right? So I realized this, that, okay, I got to start taking a good look at these gremlins that live within me. Like, what is going on? Okay. Now, instead of getting mad at the monsters inside you, realize that you have to make friends with them. You have to make friends with your shadow side to make it work for you. Once again, your shadow side, your shadow self is nothing more than the raw energy, the dragon energy, the fire energy. It is incredibly powerful once you know how to use it and make it work for you. It will destroy you if you don't know how to use it. So you have to make what I call friends with the monsters to embrace your shadow side and glow brighter. So stop saying, I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself. Stop focusing on everything you are, right? Stop focusing on everything you want, on everything you want, and start focusing on everything you are. Give yourself more credit. Pat yourself on the back today. You did a good job, right? Become your greatest fan. That's how to embrace the shadow side, right? Who cares about society's rules, for goodness sakes? Start living in a world which makes sense to you. I've learned this as well, that you have to really expose your shadows. You see, many times we only show one side of who we are to people. And I've learned that, no, you got to show all the sides of who you are to other people. You see, there's a reason why people sometimes who you might call them arrogant and cocky, that's their shadow side they're showing you, okay? But then again, you might be really humble, but behind the scenes, you're very arrogant and cocky. So you have to really realize this, that start exposing who you are, right? Forget about political correctness. Just expose who you are to the whole world. And then you'll come to love your shadow side. Now, our shadow side can help us or it can hurt us. It begins to help us when we begin to nurture it, when we begin to embrace it, when we don't see it as a negative, but as essentially what we are all made of, right? The shadows, the midtones, and the highlights, okay? So it's not going anywhere. Your shadow side is not going anywhere. We just need to know how we can make it work for us. Like, how can I make this shadow side help me? Well, I'll give you an example. There was a time when one of my shadow sides, it would be because, like, I love going into nature. Sometimes I would be alone in nature, okay? And I love connecting with people, but sometimes I just want to be alone, okay? And I thought that was my shadow side, okay? Because I didn't really want to, like, socialize with the mainstream back in the day, okay? Now, this shadow side is now working for me because I've chosen to see it in a positive way. I've chosen to say, actually, I can recharge. I can really, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Okay, it helps me. However, let's just say you got a shadow side which is very egotistical. You're like, I'm the best. Okay, if you're not careful, your shadow side could end up destroying you. So how to work with it is to say, okay, my ego can help me if I'm in a fight or flight situation and I need to really show out, okay? But my ego will destroy a 12-letter word called a relationship. We don't need that, okay? So you have to learn how to work on yourself, right? That's how to really embrace the shadow side and glow brighter. Work on yourself daily. Like, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm working on myself every single day to say, how can I become a better human being? Right? So once again, remind yourself, stars can't shine without darkness. It's all about the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights. Once you realize that, well, you'll just say, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? We are out here in the heart of nature, baby. It's so quiet, you can hear a pin drop. Have a beautiful day with just, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You.